retribution toward. That is why it's happening.
All right,
by pretending that there's
Brian,
let me bring in
you're
Vinny.
saying good for Brian. Good, because we want Brian. Good for him. If they did illegal shit, then go to jail. You guys are talking all that crap, and you're warning what Trump is going to do to what Biden and his DOJ has done this entire 4 years. Are you not seeing it?
In this video, Vinny Oshana from the PBD podcast and Brian Tyler Cohen joined the panel on Piers Morgan Uncensored. Vinny Oshana and Brian Tyler Cohen argue Joe Biden's preemptive pardons of the disgraced January 6th Unselect Committee. With that, let's watch Vinny Oshana destroy left-wing lunatic Brian Tyler Cohen.
In 1983. For what?
Yeah, but why would you need a pardon
need a
for
pardon?
that? It makes no sense. So if Trump, even if Trump is investing, hang on. Let me ask the question. Even if it were the case that Trump wanted to open an investigation as to whether or not there was foul play during the previous administration's investigations of him, why in the world would this require a pardon to these people? That makes no sense to me at all.
Because why would there be a requirement of a pardon? Because why do these people need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees on dealing with BS, which is part of their oversight duties to have done?
We don't know if it's BS. We haven't investigated it yet. What are you talking about? So we just can't investigate anybody because it could be bad.
It is part of their,
no, we don't know.
It is part. Listen, do you understand how it works? Have you ever worked on the Hill? Because I can tell you, they have immunity as senators and Congress people to do their oversight responsibilities. There is
I thought you just said a second ago that there's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. Now you're backtracking on that?
Because, of course, you'll have to go, because you're going to have to go hire lawyers to be able to prove that this was part of their oversight
I thought you just said they had immunity. Like, you can't have it both ways here.
Jesus, do you understand how this works? Yeah. You have to get a lawyer to go to court to tell a judge.
Okay, so then
all of this.
So they don't have immunity?
You obviously don't understand how it works. You obviously don't. I'm sorry. Do you not understand what I'm getting here specifically? Because you're,
no, I don't understand why these people need to have a pardon, because they might be investigated for potential crimes they may have committed.
Can I tell you
something? They have nothing to worry about because there were no crimes.
What are the
then
crimes?
Why do you need the pardon? It makes no sense.
No, but Brian, hang on. Don't talk at once, please. Brian, you say, what are the crimes? That's the point. We don't know, and we may never know.
You're looking for crimes because Donald Trump is looking for crimes because he doesn't like Liz Cheney and the fact that she did.
No, he genuinely believes she's broken. He genuinely believes she's committed crimes.
Here's the point. To Julie.
Yeah, I mean, Biden's pardon of his entire family, Hunter Biden, 9 or 10 year period, covers crimes we never even knew about. Then the Liz Cheneys and the Faucis. I'm sorry, you do not need a pardon if you didn't do anything wrong. These stories would be in the national news spotlight. And by the way, Trump doesn't have to go after people just out of revenge. Plenty of these people have committed crimes, and they're going after them whether he has an agenda with them or not. A lot of these people have committed crimes, and I want to start seeing some of them indicted, the ones that aren't pardoned. But I hope that now that we know all of Joe Biden's pardons were signed with AutoPen, I hope that, and 1,000% believe that, they should all be null and void. I don't even know how there's a counter argument to that. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
His exact point. First of all, what crimes? Second of all, it costs money to get legal representation to go prove all of this stuff. And third of all, it's moot because all of these people have immunity anyway. You are allowed to act in your oversight capacity in Congress and the Senate to pass legislation to discuss this stuff.
You didn't care when Trump had to spend on lawyers. You didn't care about that.
But what law was broken? Yeah, you're right. They can't break the law, but there was no law that was broken. But it doesn't change the fact.
So why do you need an all-encompassing immunity if you've never broken the law?
Why do you need an all-encompassing immunity if there's no laws broken?
I don't know. I don't know.
Let me bring in Vinny.
I don't know if you guys are playing dumb or not, but the fact is,
I don't think it's us playing dumb, Brian.
It costs money to go forward with this.
Okay, no, I'm actually playing devil's advocate. But I'll tell you what, look, hang on, I'm going to bring Vinny in, but I am playing devil's advocate here because I do think there's a shocking hypocrisy by the Democrats, led by Joe Biden. The whole year they banged on about the rule of law. No one's above the rule of law. And here is President Biden in his last few weeks basically riding roughshod over the rule of law to bail out
Piers,
all his family and all his mates.
You're pretending that it's happening in a vacuum. Piers, you're pretending that it's happening in a vacuum,
No,
and
I'm
not
not.
because Donald Trump
I'm
has
not.
come
I'm
out
saying
and
you.
said
I
that
say
he's
you
going to
reap.
use.
I'm saying you reap what you sow, though. You reap what you sow.
But Donald Trump has promised to use his Justice Department as a vehicle to enact his personal retribution toward. That is why it's happening.
All right.
By pretending that there's
Brian, but Brian,
let me bring
Brian,
in
you're
Vinny.
saying good for Brian. Good, because we want Brian. Good for him. If they did illegal shit, then go to jail. You guys are talking all that crap, and you're warning what Trump is going to do to what Biden and his DOJ has done this entire 4 years. Are you not seeing it? And
What
if
did
you think
they
I'm
do?
just feel
I'm
bad
curious.
because
What
they're going
did
to have
they
to spend
do?
money, excuse me.
What did they do?
Let
Do
me
you think
finish.
Donald Trump?
Let me
Do you think
finish.
Donald
You
Trump
think
should
you
have?
want
Do you
me
think
to feel
Donald Trump
bad?
should have
You
stored
want me
those
to feel
documents
bad
in
for them,
Mar-a-Lago?
Julie, spending money?
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
Spending money on lawyers. How much money have they gutted out of Donald Trump? How many people have suffered for that fake-ass crossfire
Zero,
hurricane?
because he had his campaign paid for everything.
Obama, hold on.
Zero,
Russia
because people
collusion,
like you sent money
Hillary
into him.
got fined, DNC got fined. You're not going to talk over me. Let me finish. Thank you. And your whole, he incited an insurrection. It's all bullshit. There was no insurrection. He said, go quiet, go peaceful, don't hurt anybody. It got out of hand, but well, the FBI can't even answer. How many FBI agents were on the ground? Ted Cruz asked her in Congress.
Oh my God.
How many of them incited violence? It's all fake.
like listening to
Nobody
a
got
Facebook
arrested for
comment
If we're going to go
insurrection.
down the conspiracy rabbit hole, there's no point even talking about this because it's like
Yeah,
one
I know.
person is
Oh,
saying that the Earth is round
again,
and somebody else is
it
saying the
doesn't
Earth is
fit your
flat.
narrative.
You're
It
a
doesn't
flat
fit your
earther,
narrative.
and there's no
Facebook
point in
comment
debating.
section
All right,
comes
and
along.
It
also go
doesn't
on.
fit your
You're a
narrative.
flat
Don't also
earther,
go
and
on.
there's
Although
no
I
point
would
in
say,
debating.
Julie, hang on.
Julie,
I would say, Julie, if we're going to go down conspiracy routes, I do remember a 2-year conspiracy being peddled by almost everyone in the American media.
Trump did not incite violence on January 6th. There's just no question. It was a protest and it got out of hand, and that's awful. And I don't condone the behavior, but he didn't do that. And this dumb lady actually brought up Trump bringing classified documents to Mar-a-Lago, where they raided his home with guns drawn to get these classified documents. Then when Joe Biden did the identical thing, they said that he was a well-meaning old man that was too forgetful or something to be investigated, pretty much. And that was the Her report. And Democrats were all over him, yelling at him for even mentioning that, even though he ruled in their favor that they're not going to investigate Joe Biden. But I remember that dipshit Adam Schiff getting all mad about it. Now look how that's turned out. Boy, I guess Counselor Her was so wrong, right? Who could have seen that coming? So their main reason that I'm hearing that these people that have immunity already and for some reason need a pardon on top of that, like the immunity isn't enough, they need like double bulletproof vests. The reason they don't want anyone to be able to go after those people isn't because if they know they committed a crime or not. It's because they might have to pay a lot in legal fees. So if someone happens to be innocent, they're out of pocket those legal fees. I agree that that kind of sucks for them. And I think there's ways of recouping that. But how about all the pardons that they just gave out to criminals? They're getting off scot-free and not being taught a lesson. Innocent parties' legal fees, more important than looking the other way on other crimes. Got it. Let's wrap up the video.
Media that Trump had the election fixed by his collusion with Vladimir Putin, which turned out to be horseshit.
That's right.
So, it does depend which conspiracy theory you want to hitch
Is
your
that in
home
relation to
to.
Robert Mueller's investigation?
I
Piers?
don't recall ever saying that Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump colluded to steal the election. So let's not say that
Yeah, but
everybody
a lot
was
of
saying
people
it.
did.
I will say to you,
And the
if you
media
think-
did fuel that
if you
bullshit for
think-
2
if
years.
you- okay, but you're asking me to debate, but Piers, you're asking right now for me to debate somebody who thinks that January 6th was a peaceful protest that got out of hand because the FBI set up these poor MAGA people to go beat up cops.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, if we're
They
going to have
did.
that kind of
They
conversation,
did.
if we're going to have
They
that kind
can't
of
even
conversation,
admit
stop
it.
screaming in my ear, please.
Why
If we're
did-
going to have that
Hey,
kind of
Julie,
conversation,
why did Nancy
All right,
Pelosi
well, hang on.
shut down National
debating
Guard?
the Earth is
Why
flat.
did they not want the National
All right,
Guard there?
just for the record-
Why did Stephen Son, the chief of Capitol
the
Police,
National
say
Guard-
that they were requesting help, and she denied it? She's on camera. You're
Okay.
delusional. Okay?
If you're
Insurrection. And that whole
I actually
thing
thought-
was-
We want to hear from you. What did you guys think about this panel debate about Biden's preemptive pardons, no one being above the law, and these people's rationale as to why those pardons were necessary? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.